Hey guys, welcome to another episode of InvoTalks. Today I have amazing guest with me who is also a speaker at Leap and who is also the amazing woman who is leading the tech world from the front. I have Ayumi Moore Aoki with us. She is founder and CEO of Women in Tech and she has another initiative which is Social Brain. So Ayumi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Very excited for next week to going to leave.
Yeah. It's such a pleasure to have you. And on the other hand, it is such an amazing thing to see the landscape for women unfolding like this. And I'm so excited about this.
Yes, I'm also very excited. I think the more women take the space, especially in the technology world, in the industry, being in the forefront of innovation, I think we're going in the right direction. And we have to be vigilant. We have to make sure that women are there and not falling behind because the gender gap is getting wider in certain spaces. And I think we have to make sure that our women and girls are also part of this digital transformation we are going through and giving all our inputs to this new world we are all co-creating together.
I completely agree with you. So, starting with the questions, I was reading your bio, and it was quite interesting to see that you have an African origin and a Japanese origin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, uh, and I want to know that you grew up in Africa during apartheid. Uh, uh, if you don't mind me asking, how did it shape your personality? Because you have such amazing initiatives like Women in Tech. Did that inspire you to take these initiatives?
Yes, sure. I think we did. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, what if I created a global movement for women, for women's rights in and activism in technology?" I think it really shaped from where we grew up, our personal experiences, and having grown up in South Africa, it really did shape my beliefs because I'm half Brazilian, half Japanese. And I left Brazil. I was 12 years old to go to South Africa, to Johannesburg. That's where I did all my high school. And when I arrived there at first, it was still apartheid. So for me, it was a great shock. I grew up, and studied in schools where people from other colors besides white, they were not allowed. I also lived when Mandela came out of prison and when apartheid was abolished. So I really was throughout the transition. And it did shape my beliefs on the importance of inclusion, the importance of diversity, the importance of also not being a victim in any situation, right? We just have to stand up for your rights, for your human rights, for all the rights that we have. And you have to do it in a peaceful way. You have to do it in a constructive way, so that we can really go forward in the best possible, putting all the energy and all the possible, good things, and bring people together as well. Because if you become a victim as if you're in a apartheid and there's a lot of hate and a lot of negative energy, I don't think it will bring up to anything. It only deteriorates the situation. But if we look at it, how inclusion and how diversity can really foster so many different things. I think this is really what shaped me when I came into the tech world years and years later.
Oh, that's amazing. We would love to meet you at Leap. We are at Hall 5, stand F30 in Pakistan Pavilion. We would love to have a chat with you. And that what you said inspired me a lot. That we should all come together and build up. That's what it is. That is what is needed. From this, I also want to take this question a further step ahead. What led you to explore the world of technology? Like you said, your upbringing, with your upbringing, you could have gone into the field of women rights or any other field which is required. But what brought you to the technology world?
In fact, I came into technology much later in life. So first, when I was in high school and then later in university, I studied fine arts because at that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. All I wanted to do is travel. I wanted to really discover the world because, when you're in South Africa, especially at the time, sometimes, people are quite narrow-minded, and I really realized as a young woman, I wanted to explore the world. So all I wanted to do was to travel. So I said, well, what am I good at, and what can I do quickly so I can go travel the world? And that was fine arts. So I did fine arts. I started traveling. When I loved traveling so much, I went into the hotel business afterwards. So I did hospitality in France. And after a while from hospitality, I grew. I was working in a group of hotels and casinos where I was the managing director. Sorry, not the managing director, but the director for communications, for F&B, and for and for commercial as well, for sales. And then I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing here? Is this really what is inspiring me? What's the purpose of working in this job, in this corporate job? Although it was very well paid and it was quite influential, I was thinking to myself, is it what I really want to do throughout, not until the rest of my life? And the answer was no. And I said, what's my dream? And I had to think about it for a while. And I thought, well, my dream is really, I had 2 children then, to spend more time with my children, to be able to travel more again, because I had, son in a very fixed position, to do something creative and to do something in the digital, because it was the beginning of social media at the time. It was in 2008. And I really felt that there was a huge lot of opportunities to bring my creative side, my hospitality side, my communications into this new world. So what I did is I quit my job and I started to learning how to code by myself. So I would put CD-ROMs on, and this is how I learned how to make my first website. And then afterwards, I learned how to make small apps for social media. And then from then on, I created my first digital agency and then the second one. And this is how I really came into technology. It was because I pivoted my life at that time, and I'm very, very happy. But it was also the struggles of being a woman entrepreneur, right? Before, in the corporate world, I was really used to having a lot of responsibility, but it's not the same thing that when you're an entrepreneur, when you have to go find your clients, when you have to start from scratch, when you have to find funding to start your company. And so I really experienced the challenges of being a woman entrepreneur in technology in the digital world. And I promise you, it wasn't that simple, right? I remember going to try and find a bank loan just to get up my startup started. And the banker said to me, of course, Miss Ayumi, we can help you, with your small loan. If you come with your husband and he's okay, we'll give you the money. So I said, and the entrepreneur, it's me. Why do I have to ask my husband if he's okay for you to give me the loan? Like, no, two things apart. So throughout these experiences, growing my business as well as growing the children and changing the family, this is how I really got to live how the difficulties of being a woman, not only in the corporate world, but also in the entrepreneur world, and more specifically in the tech world. And this is what led me to later on start Women in Tech.
Amazing, amazing. You not only paved your way, you are also working to pave way for other women. That is so phenomenal, I must say.
We all owe it, right? We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. And I think that, if you've gone through something that was difficult, the only way to pay forward is to help women come along, so that this digital and this gender gap that exists in technology today will not take 135 years to get an equal rights, but it can be done in a much shorter way, and so we can be reached much sooner. And the only way for us to do that is to help each other, right? To be a global movement, to be able to share our knowledge, to open doors, to lift women up. I think that's the only way forward.
Amazing, amazing. That is so inspiring. I must say that is so inspiring. And that takes a lot of work, a lot of energy, I must say, because empowering yourself is kind of easy, but empowering others is a job in itself.
Yes, well, it depends how you see it, right? For me, I think when you work with other people, that's what gives me energy. But when I see it is energy taking, it is. But I think what I get back is so much more because when you work with people, that's where you see that things are really to go as I say, if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. If you want to go further, you go as a group.
Mm.
Um, to make change, you cannot make change alone. To make change, you can make a difference. We can all make a difference, right? But for change to happen, to be something that stays in time, it has to be a movement. It has to be a group of people. It has to be committed people that are, um, walking the talk every single day and helping others. So it can be the ripple effect. You can't do it alone. So the more you give back, the more you pay forward, the more you see change happening, the more you get inspired and energized. You see? So
Phenomenal.
maybe it's almost the
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. As I was going through your bio, I also found out that you are an supervisory board member of Autofill Technologies. I want to know about Autofill Technologies and for your role over there, because there are a lot of young women right now watching us who want to enter into the world of technology. So from women like you, I want to know that what roles they can play or explore in the world of technology. So, with how you were, if you don't mind me asking, how you're associated with Autofill Technologies?
Autofill Technologies is it's a company, and it's a company that I adore because it's everything I love. So it's AI and deep tech company, and they have developed this groundbreaking technology that's automating compliance-based inspections on automobiles and the fleets and the rail. So it's very masculine, if you can say, when you imagine, automation of cars, of railways, of trains, and being the only woman in the supervisory board, I think it's super interesting because I learn a lot from my colleagues. And I also give a different perspective to the ideas, to the creation, to the marketing. So I support them a lot with the general strategy, with the branding, the diversity goals as well, which is very important. But most of all, I'm really passionate about the technology, because you can see today there's so much time being spent by manual inspections that are being done, and with this technology, everything can be automated. So we can we gain time. You gain obviously quality of inspection as well, because we remove any biases that you may have during the inspections. And also, this autofill is backed by the University of Cambridge Deep Tech Lab. They were investors and a research partner. Also by the former chairman of Audi and the former COO of Microsoft. So it's a very robust company with a lot of innovation and a lot of potential. So watch out, because they're going to be hearing a lot about autofill technologies in the near future.
No, amazing, amazing. It's really refreshing to come across companies which are doing unique work in the field of tech. And as I said, our team is going to be there in the leap. So we would love to meet you and know more about Autofill Technologies and your other initiatives.
With pleasure, I will be there.
So we should
Me at 5, right?
yes, yes, yes. It's hall 5 F30. We should fix a date. The coffee is on us.
I'll be there.
So I want to know, just I was go more into the leap. I want to know, you are speaking, you are also a speaker over there, and you are talking about the important topic of representation of women in AI roles. As you said that AI is and data is kind of a masculine field right now. What are you going to, highlight over there? Just pointers for our audience. And what are the hurdles? Another question just came in my mind, that what are the hurdles do you think women face when they are entering, especially in the AI field?
I think that whether it's in the AI field or in tech, like deep tech or coding, more technological jobs, women do face, biased views, but I think they don't have to stop there. They have to go forward, because any job, whether it's going to be from healthcare all the way to AI or deep tech, any job, any role can be done by any kind of gender, any person whatsoever, as long as she's passionate or he's passionate about the job. I think we all have the intelligence and the competence to be able to achieve and be an expert in anything someone puts their mind to. And so it doesn't matter the gender. And AI is particularly important because, everything that this digital transformation we are going through today, and the way we are automated things and automating things, we always say, okay, there has to be some machine learning behind, there has to be some AI. For that, it's going to be the future, right? Or what we are doing right now. If women are not part of the solution, if women are not inventing and co-creating the technologies that are going to be automating our future tomorrow, we cannot be well represented, right? We cannot give our points of view on things that are going to be shaping the society, our economies, our education. So women are key. Not only women, but people of all genders and of all ages as well, I would say, and also of all backgrounds and cultures. Because diversity and inclusion is not just gender, it's something that goes beyond that, right? It goes into backgrounds, languages. And I think what I love about coding and what I love about technologies is that there's like a universal language that we can all share, whether you're in India, whether in Japan. When you start coding and creating things, the language is the same. So it's a real universal language that brings us all together. So if we can do this on common projects, on making programs and services that are going to be helping humanity in the future, women have to be part of the conversation. They cannot be left out. So I think the hurdles come first from these unconscious biases that we have of what should be a role for a woman, what should be a role for a man, what should a boy or a girl study. That comes first thing. And then once they go into there, also perhaps they don't know the possibilities of imagining themselves in an AI role. So I think that putting forward, highlighting role models of women that are doing brilliant work there, it's very important so they can shape the imagination of young girls, that they can see themselves and aspire to be like them, and maybe inspire them to take that road of knowledge into the AI. And obviously, once they are there, we have to make sure that the culture of the environment where they work in are welcoming, so that they don't fall out, right? There's a lot of the retention rates for men are higher than for women, unfortunately. This means that we have to make sure that the environment and the culture are fit for women and for people, once again, of all genders.
I completely agree. It is completely different for women as compared to men. And I completely also agree with you on this, that retention rates are, forgive me for using this word, horrible in terms of women and in comparison to men. So another question, just I was reading about your leap contributions and I got so excited. I noted this. You are also, I guess, judging the rocket semi-final at leap.
Yes. So I'm judging the pitch competition, and this is a fun part because you get to discover new ideas, the startups, the entrepreneurs, and I think once also as a female judge, I hope I'm also going to be giving asking the questions and giving another point of view from my male colleague judges. But I'm very excited to learn more about these startups. I've already judged some on the paper, but I don't know which ones are going to be there in front of me. So I hope I'm going to discover new exciting projects and I'll be able somehow to help them go forward and make their dream happen.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Ayumi, for being with us. It was so exciting and so refreshing to hear your point of view on contribution of women in the field of technology and how you are, paving way for other women with your Women in Tech initiative. And we would love to know more about you and love to meet you at LEAP. Thank you so much for being with us and taking out your time for us.
Well, thank you so much for this invitation. I was delighted for this conversation, and I will be very, very happy to come to Hall 5 and to meet you all in person. And
thank you so much, Ayumi. Thank you so much.